So this is weird. I've never done a presentation before in front of a computer screen. So this is new for me. I'm used to being in a room with you guys, and it's interesting. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I don't even have the video up. So this is all new, and this is a new normal for all of us. And this isn't meant to be a how to solve everything real estate issues. This presentation is really just meant to talk about the facts, how we can educate our clients, and some best practices, but mainly just to give you some ideas to talk about on social media. I know there's been a lot of requests to do the Facebook presentation. That one is next. So Gary and I are working on scheduling that right now. This one's not going to get in depth about how to do that, but it's going to tell you what you can do on your social media. Right now, people are looking for confidence and they're looking for context. There's a lot of information out there and there's a lot of misinformation. So we have to be the educators in our markets that go to local realtor that people turn to, whether it's for a house or because they need help picking up their prescription because they can't go out. That's our job, and that's why we want to make a difference. So this is going to spark some ideas to help your sphere of influence, and a little bit about me if you guys haven't met me. Some of you may have, some of you may not. I recognize some familiar names, but I joined Taylor Properties Heritage Financial about a year ago now, and I've been working closely with Taylor to get all of their clients taken care of under the Heritage Financial brokerage. A brokerage is different than a direct lender, different than your depository institutions that you walk into. We shop and find the best deals for your clients. And we shop and find if there's a loan that has to close in 20 days, we have to find a lender that does that. But we deal with lots of lenders across the country. So we're a local, broker with national ties. So if there's something that other people can't get done, which we're seeing a lot right now, we'll talk about like 640 credit scores for FHA. There's a lot of things that people aren't able to do, and we are still. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I've joined after about 7 years prior industry experience. I've been with a direct lender. I've done a ton of VA loans. But this is newer for me being a broker, but there's been some learning curves, but overall I chose to come here because I wanted to work with you guys who are at Taylor, and I wanted to provide something that I felt was missing. So if I can do something to help any of you guys at any point in time, whether it be now during COVID or not, please don't hesitate to reach out, even if it's just a question or an inquiry. And you guys will have all my contact information after today, as well as a copy of the slides. And I got a couple other attachments I'm going to send you. So the next 90 days, I made this a few months back. It was created, and now, when's the next 90 days? We don't even know where we're going to be, right? So throughout this, as I go through the information, again, as Gary said, if you have any questions or comments, I have the chat up, so I'll be reviewing it as well. If there's something I missed, Gary will let me know, but feel free to mention something. I may not get to everything if I miss it, but if you have something to comment or something you want to bring up, please don't hesitate. All right. So before this all happened, we were kind of going at a good pace, the real estate industry. I think we can all argue that we were having some of the best years of our lives, as far as how easy it was, the inventory, the rates. It was easy. That's what it was. Now, this is where we're at. And what happens in this time, we need to figure out, what do people seek in this time? Who are they looking to? Why it's your chance to step in, how to show up in this, what you're going to do after this presentation, and give you some ideas to post to your social media accounts, because we could all use some of that. I'll be the first to raise my hand and admit that I haven't been as present online since this all happened. I've been home. I've had no excuse, but I haven't been as present. So this is going to give us an idea to get out there and just post a little bit more, so our sphere of influence can see our faces and our content. But like I said, before COVID, we were that race car, and now everything just stopped. Now it's picking up again with the spring market and summer, but previously it stopped, and I likened it to a traffic accident. And that's how I like to explain it to my clients. I'm sure a lot of you had deals that just stopped moving, fell through. So imagine you're driving down the road and there's a traffic accident. What do? You have to slow down and wait for them to clear the road. And it's kind of what happened here is we were in this traffic accident and now they've kind of cleared the road so we can start to move forward. I would maybe say it's more like a construction work on the side of the road now, where they're letting one lane through and there's so low inventory, we're not seeing things moving the way that we're used to. With that said, there's also other delays that COVID has caused within the industry itself, within industries within the industry, right? Appraisers. It's taking a while for appraisers to get out to houses. And it was a perfect storm of events. You had COVID happen, rates were at an all-time low, so everyone was trying to refinance. And all these loans that these lenders thought were going to close, they ended up losing their job because of this. They were in the restaurant industry or in the service industry of some sort. So all those loans those banks were preparing to fund and get their money on didn't happen. Now all these refinances, they have to go back and check to see if they're still employed. And then they're waiting on all these appraisals to come in, which some of them didn't even need to be done because the loans got canceled or whatever. So it was lost time. All of that combined, we're seeing lenders completely at capacity with how many people are trying to refinance, and everyone else is just working from home. So nothing's moving as fast as what we're used to. But now is the time for you to kind of pick it up. And I find that people fall into 3 different categories right now. They're either adapting, they're on the fence, or they're shut down. So adapting, you're innovative, overcoming. On the fence, you're not sure what to do, what to say. I mean, there's a lot of political stuff going on as well. So some shy away, stay quiet. Others are activists. They want to go out there and speak. But your community, your sphere of influence is looking to you. They may not know it, but you can be that person. And we'll talk about some of the social postings that you can do to show that you're there for them and what others have done to give you examples so you guys have those ideas. Shut down, you're completely paralyzed right now, which I don't think is any of you guys because you showed up today, right? We also have to figure out where our clients are at, which part of this. We all know people who are in their house and haven't left and just are doing all the precautions. And we all know people on the other side of the fence that don't believe in any of it. So we have to figure out where our client is. It's no different than any other time. It's just empathy, right? We've all heard this too. Life is 10% what happens and 90% how you respond. And that's no different. And your mindset is what changes everything. So first, our mindset, we have to take care of ourselves before we can take care of others. It's the whole safety speech that you get on the plane. You have to put your oxygen mask on first before you help somebody else do it because you're not used to them dead, right? So help yourself before you can help others. As long as you're in a positive mindset now, that'll be reflective in your conversations with your clients. This is the biggest thing that, we always preach. Everyone always talks about having a calendar, setting time blocks. This is more important for me than ever. I know, when I first started in the coronavirus, months and months back, the first couple of days was like a vacation a little bit, but then, emails start coming in and then you have people asking where you are and then you catch back up. And then now it's like the new normal. My commute is 30 steps from my bed to my desk, right? And that's most of us. But you guys have been doing this for how long? You real estate agents, right? All of you guys have been working from home in some capacity for your professional life. So if you don't have your calendars blocked off, then what are you doing, right? So this is the biggest way you can block the calendar is income versus exposure, right? And you guys are going to get a copy of this. I'm not going to teach you how to run your business. That's another presentation. It's more important now than ever to make sure that you're following your calendar because you're not sitting in the office. It's not going to jump out at you. You need to make sure yourself, you're doing the things each day to get you your income and to get you your exposure. Like I said, day one, that was me. I was more like day one was day 3 was me. But what do people seeking chaos? So this is a big part and a big theme of this presentation. All right, so they're seeking kind of 2 things here. They're seeking context. what does this mean to me? What's going on? Help me understand. How does this make sense for me? If you're posting, hey, here's my new listing, it's not going to be that memorable in a time like this. But if you're posting, hey, we're gathering, food together for, the local shelter, just like you normally would, or whatever it is, that grabs more attention. You don't want to be salesy. And that's ringing more true than ever. I think this culture that we have coming out is being more, calling out the fakeness and then being more real. And I think we need to be more real and show our true selves. That's what people want to see on social media. They don't want to see, the stuff that I post where I talk about interest rates, right? Nobody really cares. It's 1 in a million. So let's see here. So they want context. They want to help them understand why this is happening, or why does it make sense for them to purchase a house in this time, or should they be scared? And the confidence is the second part that you need to give them. All right. So this is, by having the information and by having the data and by knowing your local market, you can give them this confidence. But if you're a fly by night, fly by the seat of your pants, not studying or getting up on any of the latest financial data, stock market, you're not going to be able to guide them where you want them to be and give them the confidence that they need to take the next step in an environment like this. I know now is the spring market and we're all seeing business pick up. And it's been very, very busy because, again, we're all working from home and trying to do this different thing. And it's almost becoming our new normal. But even with all of this, we still want to remember like the ABCs of why we do this. And it's to be of service and not to be of sales. So it's our opportunity right now to be, that light in the storm. And it's really when you can change the narrative about what a realtor means to the local community. It's not just about providing homes, it's about providing service. So in order to do this, you got to have 3 things. You got to be willing, you got to be able to adapt, and you got to have the ability to do so, your skills, right? And I have a quote here. All right, we all know this guy knows a little bit about adapting, right? Charles Darwin is not the strongest of the species that survived, nor the most intelligent, but rather the most adaptable to change. Okay. So our ability to deliver the context and the confidence all comes from communication. And this is the #1 skill I believe everybody in this industry needs to work on. I'm sure you guys can all point to a loan officer who didn't call you back. I'm sure all the loan officers here can point to a real estate agent who didn't call you back in time. Whatever it is, we all need to get better at that, but we all need to do better at that with our clients as well. So whether you like it or not, we only have a few tools to be able to do that. And these tools are going to be tools that we're going to be able to use for the foreseeable future. They're not going anywhere, right? And if you look here, today's tools for communication. So it's this whole thing, this cell phone, which I'm sure has gone off 10 times for you guys. You guys are probably looking at it right now and not listening to me, which is fine. I'm just looking at a computer screen. So it is our tool. It is our tool for the next foreseeable future. So if you're not on social media, let me ask you guys this. How many of you guys said, I really should do that video thing that I've been meaning to do? Take a video of myself at my open house. How many of you said I should get on social media, create my Facebook business page? That's coming soon. I really should connect with my clients better over the phone, using text messages, emojis, things like that. You should, right? It just, if not now, I mean, when are you going to start doing this? It's the perfect time. And basically this is when the accident gets pulled off the freeway here. It's just about off the freeway, like I said. So now's the time to kind of pick up and see where these clients are. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of clients that are pre-approved that are just in the wing. They're losing out on offers because there's conventional loans, 10, 20% down that are getting accepted over my VA, FHA borrowers. And we have to be prepared for when those guys come back out. So this isn't the spring market, in my opinion. when lenders kind of free up the ability with those refinances when they go through and the inventory comes back, we're going to start to see the spring market. And I think it's coming, next month or the month after, depending on if we lock down again. But it's there. It hasn't come fully. There's not enough inventory, but all signs are good. So next, I want to talk about, and I want your opinion on this. What's more important to you guys, to you personally, in your community, in your local community as a real estate agent there? Great reach or great results? And I want you guys to respond in the chat. I'm gonna wait for a couple answers. What's your opinion, guys? All right, you got reach, results, Paula. Very good. All right, Richard, results, reach. All right, so it's kind of mixed. Great results, both. Natasha, both, yeah, I would say though. But let's take a look at this next slide. Who's this? All right, Michael Phelps. We all know who this is. Most decorated Olympian of all time. Most decorated male swimmer of all time. And by the time he retired in 2016 in Rio, he had 23 golds, 3 silvers, 2 bronzes. That's pretty powerful. You guys all remember the time. You guys know where you were when you watched it. But do you guys know who Jenny Thompson is? I'd be surprised if anybody, no. Got a couple no's already. Jenny Thompson is the most decorated female swimmer of all time. Now, this isn't male versus female. Don't make it that. What it is the exposure, the reach, right? You may know Michael Phelps because of his maybe negative reach, but it's reach in general. But what I'm saying is between 1992 and 2004, she won more Olympic medals than any other female swimmer. And that's in history. That's not just between those years. And she won, I think, 12, let me see here, 12 medals, 8 golds. So my point is, don't be a secret agent. If you're that good and you feel you have something to deliver people, well, then it's time to get on the 21st century bandwagon and get on social media and start posting things that mean something to you. Not, here's my new listing, thanks, it's going soon. They're going to see that, especially in today's low inventory, it's going to go. This is more about you showing your sphere, your sphere of influence, your soy, who you are and why you matter. So it's a time to show up. And this is what I'm talking about. The number of agents contacted before selecting one to assist with the sale of a home. 75%. 75% of people will use the first agent. I mean, that's kind of like the old saying, 80% of success is just showing up, right? That's a huge number. I mean, you really have to do something wrong, or you have to be one of those savvy clients that, interview 5 people, sign agreement with 3 of them, those people. But you have to show up and show them that you're there for them by posting, by either texting them, calling them, whatever it is that you do best, do that. But reach out, show them that you're there, show them, hey, today might, be a tough time, but people are still buying homes. And by the way, it's a great time to buy a house because the market's increasing, values are increasing, inventory's light, but with a good loan officer, a good realtor like myself, we'll make sure your offer gets considered with the highest regards. We know ways to do that, don't we? We're all professionals. But if you're not showing up explaining that today's an okay time to buy, people are still buying houses, they're not calling you to ask you if they're still buying houses. They're just assuming it's not, or they're too scared to ask, or they may see somebody else post. You know who else is showing up? Zillow. You have questions, we can help. Keeping you informed on how to handle buying, selling, renting, or just nesting at home as we adapt to life during COVID-19. I don't know if you guys have this company in your neighborhood, but I'm pretty sure you do. They're huge and they're only getting bigger. So if you're not going to, they can't reach out to Zillow and talk to Mr. Zillow, right? But you can post and say something like this. And guess what? People are going to have questions. If you post something like this today, guaranteed you guys will get questions about it. You guys will have somebody like it, respond, or react to it. But if you continue to do that and show why you know what you're talking about, what the new rules and regulations are for seeing a house, going to a new listing, anything, show your knowledge. That's what they want, the context. Only a life of lived in the service of others is worth living. All right, that's what we do. We serve people. Our job is to help them get what they want, and that helps us get what we want. But ultimately, you have to like doing that. So now it's time to show up and some posting ideas. So how many of you seen this already? Right? I've probably seen it like a bunch. I mean, I've seen it a lot on Facebook, and you'll see these types of things. But imagine if you with your real estate office or your team, or if it's just you post, some of the virtual tours that are going on, whether it's of a mansion that's right on the river in Annapolis, or, whether it's on the outskirts of DC, posting virtual things, sharing these items, just getting it out there so people react to it. It may not be your cup of tea, but it gets reactions. You want to be involved. Here's another one, favorite family board game. This is very simple. I think you all have played games now and you're probably tired of them by this point. When this was created a couple months ago, it was all the rage, I promise you. But now this is just another idea of what you want people reacting to your posts, right? That's the ultimate goal. You want to drive interaction with that. Here's another couple of ideas. These are two different real estate agents that in their local community created Facebook groups. And I like this one on the left here because it has the valuable toilet paper in the middle, social distancing together, and then the COVID-19 support group. But these two ladies created these groups on Facebook and got their local community. And by the way, I think one of them has over 2,000 members in that group, and that's just run by her. So when you see these types of groups, you can do it too. That she's not, one of the top 3 agents in the country. She's just a local agent, just like you guys are. So these are just 2 examples of realtors serving the local community using Facebook groups. So this is another cool thing that I've seen a couple loan officers, and some of you have done this as well. If any of you guys have, feel free to say so in the chat. But what I've seen is people call up businesses, a local business, their favorite restaurant in the area, and they call up, hey, can I speak with the owner? Look, I'm a local real estate agent. I'm doing spotlights on the local restaurants. You guys have been here forever. We love your food. We want to help support your restaurant, right? Can I interview you on Zoom for 10 minutes just to figure out more about your business? And I'd like to share that on all my social media accounts. If you do that, you can cut up the interview. You can just use video of it. If you don't have that kind of software, just take it down by note, write it down and then post, spoke with the owner today. We had a great conversation. His business is about this right now. They're having trouble keeping afloat. So we're out here to support him. Go out there, take pictures, say you'll be there from this time to this time to buy people, a free side with their meal, whatever it is. Find that local business. It doesn't have to be a restaurant, but help support that local business. And it's just another thing you can post about. But if you're doing it genuinely, you're helping somebody, and you're also being able to show that you're out there in the community. Again, these aren't meant to be like, fall off your chair, great, things that you're going to do every day moving forward. It's just to give you an idea, to spark an interest in getting something out there. Here's another one. She just asked, hey, if you need help, I'll go to the grocery shopping for you, pick up the necessities, something like that is just, if it comes off, if you say it and mean it, then, no one's going to think anything different. But if that's not something you do, don't post that. But again, it's better than here's my hot new listing, right? I don't know if people are going to be as concerned with that right now. So some more posting ideas. If we're going to be able to talk about the housing market, we need to talk about, where the stock market went, the recession that we're technically in right now, and we can't shy away from that word. But what we've seen in the past is these armchair experts, these people who say, oh, well, 2007, housing market tanked when we were in a recession, right? It's just going to happen again this time. We're seeing the same thing. We've kind of proven that to be not true in the last month or so with how the markets bounced back, but we're by no means out of the water. And I'll talk a little bit more. I'll give you some of the stats here, but let's see how the housing market has been impacted by the previous crashes, right? So this is the change in home prices during the last 5 recessions. 2008 was bad, right? But every other one, 3 out of the 5, you're seeing an increase in the values of homes when you have the stock market crash. And that's because homes can help drag us out of this, the real estate industry. If you see here, annual home price appreciation. So I just fix my screen here. This is why we're not in 2008. This is the years 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, 5. Look at those jumps in the amount, the values, the home appreciation that we saw leading up to that 6, 7, 8 crash, right? That's a lot. This is the last 6 years right here. And this market may be driving this up even more right now, but for now, this is the data. All the people smarter than me are saying this is going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. We're only projected to bring, the real estate industry is projected to bring the rest of this country out of this. And I'll talk about that too. But here's the unemployment. So we need to know these numbers so we know, because people are thinking if people are unemployed, just like they were back in 2007, 2008, does that mean there's going to be a lot more foreclosures? Are we going to see this housing crisis again? If you're a first-time home buyer and you saw your parents go through that, aren't you a little bit concerned about what's happening today, especially when there's so much misinformation out there? So know these numbers, and you guys are going to get a copy of these slides. But this is a good point. When you look at a long duration of unemployment, see how in the Great Recession, these figures lasted. In the Great Depression, these figures grew and stayed. But the projection for next year, 6 to 8%. And where are we seeing the most of this? Our hospitality, our food and service industries, the drinking places, servers, bartenders, cooks. These cooks are back to work now at some of the restaurants, but those are the ones that it wasn't too late for, So my point is the other industries are doing fine, and the food services and drink industry is going to be coming back, right? Not everybody is going to be coming back, and that's just the unfortunate truth. But the point here is that that's going to come back. The unemployment is going to go up or go down, and therefore the fear of having this housing crash again is going to go down. And you need to communicate that now before they see that in the future. That way you can show them, I know what I'm talking about, right? And if you don't listen to CNBC or MSNBC or whichever one, you should just 5-10 minutes in the morning, turn it on while you're brushing your teeth or getting ready, listen to the financial news for the day. Because if you can explain to your client what's going on in the market and how that affects what house they're looking at that day, you don't think they're going to turn to you the next time they have a question 5-6 years from now? They will. So this is what I was mentioning. Last time the housing led us into the recession, and led the recession. This time it's poised to bring us out, right? Allie Wolf. So these are people, again, much smarter than me, right? I quote them. I'm good at finding what they say and repeating it, right? I'm not as smart as them. I don't have that same degree, but it's my job to know this industry. So we all know what happened when Trump released or announced the release of the CARES Act. This is an important part of everything that's going on. A lot of this economic relief got sent to the consumers, got sent to small businesses. But they rolled out the CARES Act, and they told banks, they told people that they can stop paying their mortgages for 6 months. And there's going to be no penalty, right? They did this before. And we all know what happened there. If you don't, we can have a separate conversation about that. But they did this, but they didn't support the banks. And you may say, well, the banks should need support. Well, I don't disagree with that. But if you want the bank to lend money, you got to give them some confidence. So that's what we saw when those FHA 640, FICOs and below, people stopped doing them because they're not going to take the chance on these riskier loans when now the government is not helping them out, but they're telling people they can stop making their mortgage payments. So imagine the next 5 months, 6 months, you're not getting the money you expect to receive. That's what happens with the guidelines. They're tightening. They're only doing certain loans. They have to verify employment 3 or 4 times throughout the process. We're all seeing delays because of that. But the CARES Act, you need to know about, because if your clients have a question about it, you should be able to respond. You don't need to call somebody like me. So forbearance and forgiveness are a little bit different. I'm not sure about how it works. I could do a whole presentation on it, but get with your loan officer from Heritage Financial, me, Charlie, Steve, one of the guys, and or gals, and we'll explain it a little bit more. But you can't refinance or purchase a home without being caught up on your current mortgage. That's the long and short of it. So because you're not behind, technically, they're not going to report you to credit. They will still show that on your mortgage statement, and with a verification of mortgage, it will come up. So even when you're talking to clients about selling their house and being contingent, ask the question, hey, when's the last time you made your mortgage payment? You can, depend on your loan officer to do that, or you can show that you know the knowledge and share with them, hey, you're going to need to catch up with those 2 payments before this process is complete. The mortgage company needs to know that you're current on that mortgage, and if there's forbearance of any part, then we're going to have to satisfy that or address it before the loan closes. And you can't pay it off after, like with a refinance or a purchase, you can't pay it off with any proceeds or anything like that. It's got to be done prior to. So if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to email me after this and we can talk more about it. Every bank is different on their policy, but there's also a video here from the CFPB that shows a little bit. It's a pretty good in-depth, I think it's like 3 minutes. I'm not going to play it here for the sake of time, but it's something, it's on YouTube. Just look up CARES Act, CFPB, and you can watch it. That way you can be the knowledge that your client is seeking, the context. What does this mean to me? How will this affect me? Make this make sense for me. So the 30-day action plan, right? 90 days supposed to be, but let's shorten it to 30 days because we don't know where we're going to be in 90 days. Now's the time to embrace the suck, really. This is a good quote. Turn your blog page into your homepage, work up half a dozen timely, relevant posts answering the most pressing questions consumers have. This is the content clients and people need more than home search or community info. I knew this quote was in here, so, it does reinforce my point, but it's Mark Davidson. If you guys have any question about who he is, just do a brief Google search and you'll find out. But for the point of this is just, come up with the top 10 questions that you get from your clients. Make a list. And for the next 2 weeks, every other day, post the question and the answer. And I guarantee you'll start to get some responses just from that. Little things, how much down payment do you need? That's what I get a lot. What's the minimum credit score? You get that just as much as I do, right? So any of those things, start to post them. Credit scores can go down to 500 still. Not many people are doing them, and they got to be exceptional, but still, it's not the type of business that you want to attract when you're saying that and you're setting somebody else up for failure. So make sure your posts are guided to what you want to attract. If you want to attract somebody with 500 credit score, you could say that. But if you want to attract, somebody with a 580 with room to improve and 600 or 700, make sure your posts are geared towards your specific sphere of influence. Some of us have our credit challenge borrowers that we like to work with because they're the most rewarding people to work with. They're so thankful after they're done. And some of us, like to work with the homes, on the water in Annapolis. Just find whatever it is that you do best. Find that and drive that lane. Don't change lanes. I'll send this to you. If you guys don't have a CRM, it's very important for you to have one, especially all of us being basically self-employed, working from home. It sets up your day. It responds to people without you thinking about it. It reminds you when somebody bought a home a year ago, and you can call them and say, hey, just checking in. All these things are really good to have with the CRM, but you guys can follow this plan. I'm not going to go over it in detail. Who here has done a virtual listing? Like the presentation, the walkthrough, whether it's like an open house that you did. I want to see in the chat. I want to see how many people have done a Facebook Live, anything to get their property out there since COVID started that you didn't do before. Lisa? All right, there we go. Hi, Marianne. Marianne says she did. So we got a couple people. Instagram, Camila, very good. So, the fact that you're doing that is good, but by the way, new normal, it's gonna be there forever. So better get used to it. I would start to include that with every property that you're doing. If you're a listing agent and listing agent only, it's a must. If you do both, then you should have it. You should do something, learn about it. But there's a lot of programs out there that can help you to get in the inside of this technology. And it's easy stuff. It looks like a mountain, from up close, but it's just a little hill. It's really not that hard when you get into it and you read the instructions. And by the way, there's a lot of us at Taylor that know how to do it, that are willing to help. Or if we don't know how to do it, maybe we're interested in learning about it with you. So bring it up if there's something new, but I'm going to share some stuff with you guys that may help to finish up this presentation. So this is just a thing from owners.com survey. They wish that 33% of home buyers wish their agent had leveraged technology to better streamline the process. That could fall into a lot of different things, but mainly what that tells me is that if you do know technology, you weren't using it. I know, I can be faulty of that. I can be at fault of that if I'm not totally using my CRM to link the process together, or making sure that the day I meet them, I friend them on Facebook, I invite them to like my page, all these little things just to keep you on top of their mind. This is, what we're on right now is the new normal as well. And this Zoom thing is going to be like, when we talk about Kleenex or Band-Aid, that's the name that you think of when you think of those little elastic strips that cover a cut, Band-Aid. They don't call them bandages or anything like that. Kleenex, those types of names. Zoom is going to become that name for this video service. So it's important, and do Zooms for your client meetings. Do them for your initial consults. When you and your borrowers are thinking about, doing making an offer on a property, pull up your Zoom, bring them in, sit down, talk to them on the screen, and in the background, you can change your background to whatever you want it to be. Have the picture of the house that you guys are talking about. Let them see it while you're talking about it. You can do all that on Zoom. You don't have to go anywhere and waste your gas money. They don't have to go anywhere and find a babysitter or find somebody for a dog or whatever it is. Everyone can stay where they are, and we can all be more efficient. So if you're not good with Zoom, don't have a Zoom account, get with one of us. We'll set it up. But this is a must too. And there's a lot of creative ways that you can get them to feel interactive in the Zoom atmosphere. So more people will want that. Yes, absolutely. No doubt, 100%, at least for the foreseeable future. Next year, it's going to be big. After that, we'll see. We'll see if it kind of goes back to normal, but these are going to be used by more people than not for right now. So this is a good example of what I meant earlier by, not selling and to be of service. So she says, sometimes life doesn't wait for a good time to do major events like move. Now more than ever, it is more important to limit social gathering, slow down the rate at which we all move forward from place to place in order to help flatten the curve of COVID-19. And if you need to find a house, you see how she says that? If you need, like during this time, if you must find a house in the midst of the current world's turmoil, I can help you while you stay at home. I offer a full suite of remote and virtual home showings, from video to FaceTime and 3D options. Contact me for assistance in finding the right place to call home. And that's the picture to her YouTube channel that she does as well. So it's just a nice, you can tell she's genuine. Like, hey, if you need to find a house, I can help you. But if you don't need to, then maybe you should wait. But that's up for you to decide. Again, this just goes back to the virtual open houses that people are doing. I'm not going to play this one for you because I want to get into this next one that I think is really cool. Astor Room. How many of us are using Astor Room? How many of us have heard of it? All right, got a couple. Astor Room's pretty cool. If you haven't heard of it, Matterport, okay, I've heard of that. I haven't used that one though. But Astor Room, here you go. So it's a little thing that attaches to your phone, right? And these little attachments, you'll see the top part. I'll go over the pricing here. I don't own this company. I don't care if you buy it or not. But the top part is the camera part. That costs more than that bottom part. That bottom part just turns the device to take the 360 photo. What you get out of it is pretty cool. So it gives you this like dollhouse 3D kind of setup, which is really what you go to the house for, right? You want to see how the layout is, if it looks like it has space. The pictures, always look better than the actual thing, but doing this allows them to walk through this. And I know there's all the different kinds that have them. So the 360 camera, if you can do it, there's a bunch of different ones, but this just makes it real easy. Your phone, your camera, you set the thing in the middle of the room, and then you tell it where you are, and it puts it all together for you, makes a nice dollhouse like this. And this, let me see here. So these are the different things that come with it. The Astor Room is the actual software and the bottom part, but these are the different cameras that go with it that they have. And I think the cheapest one's like 160 or 150, with the most expensive being like 350. So if this is a listing agent who does a lot, then maybe the 350 one's more important. But I don't think you should ever do anything half-ass either. Pardon my language. But this is just something to give you an idea of something different that you can do to set yourself apart. So this just goes back to the 360 virtual tours, just another company that I saw today, Memento 360, but kind of a cool company. But just some cheaper options than the services that a lot of people are providing that are more expensive, that just to help you get ahead, just to be ahead of the game and to show some different content, be a little creative. Again, this goes back to what we were talking about with the Zoom meetings. So you can do a lot of things virtually, the buyer consults, inspection reports, writing an offer, like I mentioned. There's just a lot that has opened up. This, again, a new normal. We have to be creative, but more importantly, give information. People are looking for information. You don't know, the rise of the rate of people who are getting contracting the virus. That's not your cup of tea. Your cup of tea is real estate. Focus on the real estate. Focus on what you know best about that real estate market, and give them facts about how they can still buy a house today, why this isn't like it was before, and why they still can move forward without, sheltering in place for everything. You don't have to go to a party, but you can go look at a house. So back to the beginning, monitor mindset. You want to make sure that your mind's clear before you can be of service. Working together and time blocking, that's all, again, this is all high level stuff. It's nothing that you guys are going to go, wow, that was pretty deep there. But really just get in your Facebook, get in your social media, call people, ask them how they're doing. If you have clients you haven't spoken with in a year, see if they have questions, call them, just pick them up. There's a couple scripts that I'll be providing to give you an idea of what you could say. It's not included in this presentation, but I'm going to include it in the email to you guys. But overall, that's it for me. I hope you got at least one, two, or three social posting ideas out of this, something out of this that you can use for your clients. And if you need more information, again, my team is here to help. Our Facebook presentation is all about setting up a Facebook business page. So for those of you that haven't done that, if you would, please reach out to me. My contact information will be given to you. I want to add you to a list. That way, as soon as I get it scheduled, which should be, I'll have it scheduled by the end of this week with Gary. Gary, make sure that we do that. We'll get it scheduled before the end of this week. But if you're interested in setting up a Facebook business page and getting more reach, if you're still using your personal page for that, that's got to stop. But if you're interested in doing that, please reach out to me via email. And if you guys have any questions, reach out. But if there's nothing else, if you guys want, I'll look in the chat, see if you guys have any questions. But if there's nothing else, I think I can hand this back over to Gary.
So we have a question of Marianne wants help with her Facebook group, and Natasha's asking what your email is, Kyle.
I'm going to put my email in the chat right now. And I also have another presentation on virtual listings. If anyone has an interest in doing that, I would be doing that after the Facebook one, just because I put the Facebook one off. There's so many people who've been asking for it. I got to do it. But the virtual listing one, again, virtual listings aren't going anywhere. So if I do it 2 months from now instead of a month from now, it'll still be relevant. If you guys are interested in that, please email me. We'll set something up.
So it doesn't look like there's too many questions. Louisa asked, can you send us a link for virtual tours and Facebook? Yes, so as soon as we get that set up, we will definitely notify everyone, all our agents at Taylor Properties, at Anne Arundel Properties, of that presentation. And it'll be very similar to this one that we're doing. We just need to get that link and send it out to everyone once we confirm that date. So be on the lookout for that. If there's no other questions, we do actually have one more bonus presentation for Chris from Reminder Media. We've had some inquiries about some other advertising opportunities for our agents, so we thought we'd have him on fairly quickly to go over some of his offerings over at Reminder Media. So with that said, Chris, if you're still here, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm here. How you doing?
I will let you take over from here.
All right, I appreciate it. So let me see if I can share my screen. All right. So good afternoon, everybody. Like Gary said, my name is Chris Reel. I'm speaking to you today from Reminder Media. Those that are not familiar with us, we are a marketing company here in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, just on the outskirts of Philadelphia. So I just want to thank all of you for giving me a few minutes to speak with you. We do have some agents that are in your office that are using us currently. So if any of them are on this right now, I want to thank them. Like Norma Lee's been with us for about 1.5 years. Kim Randall, Araya, and Lene just jumped on board with us. And Coetta Miller's been with us for about 6 months as well. So I just want to, Susan as well. She's been with us about 1 year. So I want to thank all of them if they are on for the business they've given us. And hopefully some of you will see value in this as well. So name of the webinar is Stop Missing Opportunities and Start Connecting. Now, real estate, it's no secret. It's a relationship business. Everybody, you all have a database, and everybody in that database, they're all going to know 3 to 5 people, according to the NAR stats, that will have some type of real estate need, whether it is in 2020 and or 21. The biggest challenge for everybody right now, and especially what we're going through, how do we stay connected consistently to these people to capture the referrals that'll come from them and then essentially turn them into commission checks? Now, I speak to about 100 realtors a day, and a lot of people out there do not market to their past clients and key relationships. Instead, a lot of people are spending 10 times the time, effort, and most importantly, money advertising their way to every single commission check, and they start over after each transaction instead of nurturing the foundations of trust that they have set in place through their past clients and key relationships. So I'm just going to show you a couple quick slides from NAR that back up what I just said, okay? First one, this shows all the transactions that were done last year, the hundreds of thousands, and 53% of the buyers, 63% of the sellers all found their agent from referral sources or use an agent they used to work with in the past, okay? So this next slide, if we dive a little bit deeper into the listing transactions, and if you break it down, you have 40% came from referral sources and 23% came from previous agents that they worked with, all right? But what I want you to take away from this is right here. This is your internet, social media, and website leads. So the Zillows, the realtor.coms, and so forth. This is showing that a combined less than 6% of sellers found their agents from internet, websites, social media, and so forth. So what this is really telling you, the majority of people out there find the homes that they want online, but all the agents that they're finding to work with are through referral sources and other face-to-face interactions, okay? Now, this next one, and this is the biggest telltale sign, is the money, right? The average agent out there makes $42,000 a year. They do 11 transactions a year, and 17% of them come from referrals, 12% come from repeat clients, okay? This next slide is going to show you the difference in the top producers. And what I want you to take away is right here. Everybody that's making 150K or over, almost 60% of their business is coming from repeat and referral transactions from their database. Now, each time you go down in income, you go down in the percentage that repeat of business that are coming from repeat and referral transactions. So there's a direct correlation here, folks, to the amount of money that you're going to make to the amount of business that you're getting from your database from repeat and referral transactions. Okay, and the reason that there's such a decent gap between that is where agents are putting their money. Right, so you have your vehicle expenses, your administrative dues, professional development, websites, and so forth. Nobody can ever argue that. But right here is the eye-popping thing right here. Okay, so this shows that 55% of agents are spending $50 to $100 on their referral relationship expenses. Okay, so if you take a quick minute and think about your marketing budget, picture it like a big pizza, and you slice it into 8 slices. How many slices do you give to your past clients and key relationships, and how many slices do you give away? The majority of agents out there give their entire pizza away to total strangers and 1 slice to their past clients. And the end result, and what we're preventing for you, is you're driving down the road, seeing a for sale sign on the past client's lawn that's not yours. Maybe you're scrolling through Facebook and you see, a past client or somebody in your sphere of influence just bought a house and you weren't that agent. It's heartbreaking, right? So that's what we do here at Reminder Media. We're going to help you stay connected to your A-list, your SOI, and your prospects on a personal level to drive higher amounts of repeat and referral business. Now, we've been doing this 15 years. We work with 50,000 agents nationwide. We sent out 8 million copies last year. Now, the tools that we do this with are the American Lifestyle and the Start Healthy publications. Now, the American Lifestyle is generalization articles. It has a little something for everybody. It will connect to both sides of the house: leisure, art, travel, design, sports, and recipes. Start Healthy is a little bit newer. It's only about 1.5 years old. It's all about living a true healthy lifestyle for adults and kids. So it's mind and body. There's fitness and exercise articles in there. The recipes in this one are all healthy. I've seen articles about detoxing your body, foods to boost your natural immunity, tips to stop smoking. So anything that's on the line of living a healthy lifestyle, it'll be there. Might be a little bit more applicable to what's going on right now, right? Everybody's trying to find different ways to stay as healthy as possible. But you can alternate back and forth between each magazine, so you're not bound by doing just one. You always have options each time. To give you a visual perspective, if anybody's seen Architectural Digest or Southern Living, we look exactly like they do. It's a high gloss cover, 48 pages of full color. It's got the nice thicker paper, beautiful coffee table piece. Now, the number one thing agents love, it's very easy to customize and maintain. So if you look at the front cover, picture, contact info, and logo are there. Top left-hand corner, it'll say compliments of you. So in my case, compliments of Chris Real. If you are part of a team or have a team, we can fit team pictures there as well. Now, for each issue, there's anywhere from 10 to 15 different cover options. So here's some for the American Lifestyle for this one that we have. All right, and then here's some Start Healthy ones. So we do give you a wide variety to choose from. If you look at the inside cover, again, picture, contact info, and logo are there. You also have a personalized letter that you could tailor to your clients. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. One, if you're a plug-and-play person like myself, there's pre-written letters already done for you, and they're still going to be personalized. They'll still say Dear Bill and Judy, or not Dear Value Client, or Resident, which I know we all hate. If you want to edit those letters to make them your own, add a few lines or a paragraph, you can definitely do that. Now, option B, you can write the letter yourself. You might have some clients that are more dear to your heart, and somebody had a newborn baby, or an anniversary, a birthday you want to specifically address to them. You can have a certain letter to certain people and others to others, or like I said, one generic letter to everybody. That just comes down to the amount of time you want to put into it and the relationship you have with the clients that you're sending it to. We do give you 2 tear-out cards too. I call these the ultimate business card. Again, on one side, it's your picture, contact info, and logo. On the other side, we have hundreds of things to choose from. I think the recipes work the best. Everybody loves a good recipe. But we also have motivational quotes. There's trivia games, do-it-yourself projects, fitness stuff. If you want something custom on the tear-out cards, we could also do that for you as well. You just have to let us know what you're thinking, and we'll do it. Okay. Now, the back cover is another place you're going to brand yourself as well. There's many different template ads to choose from. We could do custom ads as well. What agents are doing with their back cover is featuring their listings that recently sold back here. So if you have a listing and you want to feature it in the magazine, we can help you create the listing ad for it if you need us to. If you don't have current listings at the time, but you want to showcase the houses you've been able to sell or find for people, we could do your recently solds as well. Now, another thing you could do with the back cover too, folks, is you could sell it. You can co-brand this magazine. So if you want to sell it to a lender or any other vendor in the area to offset your cost, that's always an option for you as well. All right. Now, I know there's many different marketing tools out there, and I know people, you're probably all getting 50 calls a day and people trying to sell you stuff, everything from lead generation all the way down to the helium for the balloons that you're going to use for the open houses, right? So what we really did is broke this down into two sections. You have your dinners, the bottles of wine, gift cards, baskets, and so forth. At the end of the day, these are awesome closing gifts, but they're not cost effective. We cannot do this and sustain it over a long period of time for each client. We'd end up working for free. On the other side, you have your things that are very cost effective. People are sending out newsletters, flyers, emails, things like that. And I don't want to say they don't serve a purpose. We've all used it at some point in time. But at the end of the day, you want to maximize your shelf life in the home or business at all times. So think about yourself. Everybody here is in sales, but you're still consumers too. You buy cars, furniture, jewelry. When you go into your mailbox, if a business sends you a newsletter or a flyer, where does that typically end up after you look at it? And if you're like me, it won't make it past the mailbox. That's the number one reason, folks, why agents use us. We get you past the trash onto that coffee table. It will serve as a constant visual reminder that you do value your client's relationship. So I always say it's like a mini billboard in the home. But we have a proven 3 to 4 week shelf life from the last survey that was done. So to keep you top of mind, make you look great. The other thing this allows you to do is be proactive. This will give you a soft touch point that you can reach out to people once every couple months, check in with them, just see how they're doing, see what they thought of the magazines or an article they'd be into. Maybe they tried a couple of the recipes, have that small talk, but feel comfortable at the end of that call. Remind them that you work off referrals. See who they know that would love the magazine like they do, that you can introduce yourself to, that will be buying or selling in 20 or 21, and they'll want to give them to you. I mean, human nature as a whole, when you give somebody a gift that they like, what do most people want to do in some way? They want to reciprocate and give you something back. So that's one side. One other thing that agents are doing, and I know it's a little bit hard right now because everything's starting to gradually open back up and things are up in the air, but it was working well before we got paused, is put them in local businesses like the hair salons, doctor's offices, dentist offices, car dealerships. As they do open back up and things get better, it's another option for you. Just leave it sit there like a fishing line. The best part about us, in my opinion, we work on total exclusivity. So anywhere that you're going to send this, whether it is to your clients' homes or when you do put it in local businesses, you own the names and addresses, which means if any other realtor, lender, actually any business professional jumps on board and they have your names or any business that you're in on their list, we make them take them all. So this will differentiate you from everybody else out there as well. Now, don't get me wrong, your competitors can send the same newsletters and flyers and things like that that's going to get trashed, but this is going to be something unique and special that's going to separate you from everybody else, show them that they're important to you, and really differentiate you as far as your business goes. Okay. Any new agents that are on here too, and you're trying to build a database, that you don't have that many closes, you can use them for listing appointments, open houses too. So for anybody, if you want to do like a prospecting mag with a bio letter in the front, maybe put some testimonials in the back, and then when you do have your listing appointments, or if the open houses do go back to normal, you can use them for that aspect as well. So we could actually customize this multiple ways to hit different campaigns of your business. Okay. Any questions on the concept as far as what we're doing to keep you in front of clients? Anything about the magazine? All right, no questions. So what we're doing, folks, the way everybody started out with us in the office is we offer a trial mailing. If you like this, you could try it one time. There's absolutely no commitment involved. That way you can test it out. You get to see how well it works, how well people respond to it. And if you want to continue, we would love it. If for some reason you decided it wasn't your thing, it's a one-time test drive. So there's no obligation whatsoever. Reason we do it like this is a lot of these wholesalers out there, they want to lock you into contracts and commitments immediately, because this way, if it doesn't work, you're going to be stuck for the next 6 months or a year throwing money away without getting the return on investment that you want and deserve. So we just want to make sure the bang's worth the buck with us before you decide to invest consistent dollars with it. So I'll just throw a couple quick incentives up here, what we have to start. So we do have a one-time exclusivity fee to get started. Normally, it's $299 to start. We knock $200 off. It's $99 to start with us. This is a one-time fee, folks. It is not a reoccurring charge. It's not something you ever pay again. So once you're with us, it doesn't matter if you mail once or if you mail 100 times. If you take a break and then wanted to come back and jump back on board, you just jump right back in the magazines like you never left. So you don't pay this again. This goes to those exclusivity rights that I told you about. And you also get your own personal marketing coach and graphic artist. So they're going to be your personal assistant. They do all the work for you. They customize, they mail it out. The only job that you have to do with this is get your photos and your list over. And then you spend a little time on the phone doing the fun part, which is design your magazines, picking the covers, recipes, and so forth. But they do all the heavy lifting, the technical, and the mailing for you. Now, we also give you a social media platform. I know you were just talking about the business social media pages. Just to kind of reiterate, hardest thing with those pages is finding relevant content to put up on your page to draw and funnel everybody back to that page to see all the real estate posts that you're going to make. So, and a lot of agents get so busy, they don't have time to consistently search the internet for it. So they always goes to the back burner and they become an inconsistent poster or they don't post at all. What we're going to do is you can link your pages up to our system, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever you got. We have a library of content we developed over the last 15 years from all of our stuff that you can link and share as individual posts from you onto your pages, and you control it. So all the recipes, articles, fitness stuff, do-it-yourself projects, I mean, there's hundreds of options in this library, but they're all organized, folks. They all have their own section, so it's really easy to use. A lot of the agents tell us they're spending 15 minutes a day, a couple times a day, and they have a complete platform of content for all their pages. It also has email capability. So anybody that sends out email blasts, you could spice your emails up with recipes and videos and fun things in the emails as well to spice them up as well. And that comes along with it as well. And price per magazine, it's $3.99. This includes everything, all your printing, customization, and postage and handling. We ask for a minimum 50, comes out to $199 for the 50 magazines. Now, we don't ask you to pay for this up front. We don't pre-charge. We want to make sure all the work's done and you approve of everything. When the magazines are ready to go out, you'll pay for them last. Best part, you can pick when they go out. We work at your time schedule. If you want to send them out for July, August, September, it's all done at your pace, okay? Again, those 50 can be completely different. You can customize the 50 different ways to hit different campaigns of your business, and there is no extra charge as well, okay? And that's it. Like I said, we're offering a trial mailing. Try it once, get it out, get some feedback, follow up some phone calls, see if there's any opportunity on the table. I mean, you mentioned it earlier about a lot of the spring market got paused for March, April, and May. People were, quarantined. They were homeschooling their kids. And now all that's done, things are starting to gradually open back up. So July, August, September, and October, it's going to start getting busy. So there's a lot of greats out there. A lot of people might have to sell quick because of what happened with their jobs. So there's a lot of opportunity on the table out there that you can get in front of people and see who they can point you in the direction of, okay? If you do want to continue past the first mailing, that price will always stay the same. It never goes up on you. And you can change everything around as much as you like. We don't nickel and dime you to death with changing fees either. So it's literally $99 a start. The only other time you ever give us money is when you send out the magazines, okay? Any questions on the pricing as far as the price per magazine, one-time exclusivity fee, or how the trial works? Questions? All right, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you my cell phone number. If anybody has some questions later, feel free to give me a buzz. It's 267-449-5281. And one last thing too, folks, I don't get to follow up at the office like a lot of the other callers do. I'm one of the trainers on the sales side. But if anybody is interested in this and wants to give it a shot, I did this for Lene when I signed her up the other day as well. I will pay for the first 15 magazines for anybody who wants to give this a shot. So if you want to let me know now, or you can shoot me a text. Like I said, when you send it out, first 15's on me. Okay. And I will stop sharing right now and get this back to Gary as far as that goes. But I'll put my number in the chat as well. And then, like I said, if anybody is interested in the 15, you want to give it a shot, just give me a buzz, or if you have questions, let me know.
Chris, do you have a good email where we can reach you at?
Yes, it's Chris, so it's CHRIS, and I'll put this in the chat too. It's actually, I'll give you this one. It's actually C, and then its last name is Real. It's REHIEL at remindermedia.com.
Just throwing that in the chat for you.
Okay, and then I'll put my cell phone number in there too.
Your number's in there as well.
Oh, you put it in there? Okay, all right, no problem. All right, sounds good. So I appreciate everybody's time. Any other questions before I go? Nope. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody's time. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
All right, so that will do it for today's presentations. If anybody has any questions, you can feel free to email us or give us a call at the office. We will be notifying everyone with the link for the recording of this video. And we will be sure to let everyone know once we have all the links and everything ready, date and time for our next presentations, which will be on Facebook and virtual tours. So thanks everyone for joining today. Hope everyone's doing well, and we will talk soon. Thanks everybody.